Today's show is brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh does the shopping, planning, and delivery, so all you have to do is focus on the hustle and the bustle of holiday shopping and then sit back and enjoy. It includes recipe cards with 6 easy steps, including photos, guys, to help calm that holiday chaos and create some gourmet meals that you and your family can enjoy. So check out HelloFresh today to stay afloat during this busy holiday season. Today's show is also brought to you by Organifi. Organifi is an organic superfood supplement line that makes quality, trusted nutrition convenient and accessible. Their most popular product, green juice, solves the problem of juicing greens on the go. Just add water, drink, and let your body soak up the benefits. Visit Organifi.com, that's Organifi.com, to learn more about an exciting offer for you, our podcast listeners. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Phillips.
Well, what's happening?
And Dr. Eric Thomas. Where in the world is Douglas? I believe he's in the mall somewhere.
Let me tell you something. If there was a song that could describe how I'm feeling right now, because I'm easy like a Sunday morning.
No, we're not going with that. We're going with the classic. We'll hit him with the... Can you hit him with the Mariah Carey? I'm trying to get in the mood. It's almost that time. Hit him with the Mariah Carey. Yes, the classic.
Well, you can see it in the mall. The Mariah Carey is definitely thick in the mall. I don't think I've ever done a podcast in the mall. I'm actually getting my steps in, walking around with the elderly folks. They're, of course, out walking me. I don't know how they walk that fast. It's kind of like a baby run.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the mall chilling,
it's an Olympic sport now. It's like the walk
I promise
run.
You
they
it
look
is.
crazy when they do it, too.
I promise you it is.
I'm like, yo, I just take off on a little sprint when ain't nobody watching, see if I can get a little traction on somebody.
Right.
But, man, let me tell you something. This is how you know we close. E is in Houston. I'm back in Lansing with Carl doing the podcast at E's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, where they do that at? By the way, these vegan snacks you got over here suck.
Oh, man, my bad.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here with the vegan snacks. I'm looking for a honey bun. I can't find nothing.
Oh, well, they got plenty of them where I am. Downstairs, right under my suite, is a nice little store with the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, no doubt.
Honey
I already
buns.
know. I'm not fooling with that. That Krispy Kreme will wreck your whole life. Like, I'm for real. That'll wreck your whole life. If you catch one of them hot boys, it's not even fair. Like, I try to act like that place don't even exist. Like,
I didn't even know Krispy Kremes had honey buns, though. I used to do, Little Debbie's?
Little Debbie snack.
Back in the day, Little Debbie. And Carl, I only did those because they was 35 cents.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, man, them was the whip. Back in the day, my mama throw them in my lunch.
Microwave that joint for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, but the Krispy Kreme
not
is
the
new,
microwave. Now, that's just gluttonous. When you microwave it, because some kind of way when you microwave it, that sucker just melt.
Oh,
I'm talking about milk with a glass of milk. Anyway, that's not vegan talk.
Oh, yeah.
Get back to the show.
Hey, I ain't doing that milk anyway. That's where I'm with the vegans on the milk, because that milk will have me toe up. What was I going to say? Oh, shout out, man. This podcast is dedicated to baby Alexander.
Alex is
just
here.
A few short hours ago. We have another member to the ETA family officially. Ken and Latoya had their baby this morning, 5:05 a.m., I believe, something like that. Baby Alexander was born into the world. Happy, healthy baby. So we are grateful for that, man. Shout out to Ken and Latoya.
Stupid grateful.
Yeah, and Ken did it, man. I'm proud of him. You know what I'm saying? I was worried about Ken.
He didn't pass out.
Yeah, he didn't pass out.
How was it, Carl? Carl, you were there. How was it,
Carl?
Carl? Well, give us the play-by-play.
So we went. So of course I'm texting Ken just throughout the day to see what's going on, and we warned Ken and Latoya, do not run up to the hospital when you feel the first set of contractions. Like, don't even play yourself. He said they went up there 1 a.m. yesterday morning. 1 a.m. He said they got up there. They're like, please go back home. Ain't nothing happening. Go home. So he said of course, they go back home, and she's feeling stuff. And I get it. The first time you go around, you think this is it.
That first go around, I'm trying to go up there a week before. Just like, I'm gonna just be up here for a couple weeks till we had his baby.
He said they went back up there. I don't know exactly what time, but sometime later that evening. And he said they just sat in the car. He said they drove up there, sat in the car for like a couple of minutes. Because he said at home, what would happen is at home, they'd get like the contractions like 5 minutes, down to 5 minutes apart. Yeah. He said they get to the hospital, sit in a lot, and them suckers go up to about 15 minutes apart. So he said they sat there for a couple, just went back home after that.
I'm like, look, I got insurance. I'm coming in. Don't be sending me home. Here. I got insurance.
So then they went back up probably like, I want to say 7, 8 o'clock last night. And Tamisha just was like, yo, we got to go up there and support him. And we got up there, man, and Ken came out, and you could, on LaToya, you could just see she was anxious. It was a lot on her. Like, she was mad anxious. The challenges they were having is the heart rate. Heart rate was steady for a minute, then it would just drop. Like, it was. I remember going in the room for a couple of seconds and watching. You see 151, 152, 153, and then I saw like 137. That second drop down to like 90. And I ain't want to say nothing because, like I said, LaToya already anxious. I'm watching Ken. And then I looked back over and I was like, yo, it's 80-something. They're about to come in here. And I'm talking about seconds later, boom, 3-4 nurses running in. I was like, all right, Tamisha, let's step out for a minute. But it kept fluctuating like that. Then they got her to calm down a little bit. They put oxygen on her because, again, she was just kind of, and it's weird because if you talk to her, like she won't panic talking to her, but you could just look on her like there was just like that anxiety on her, like, man, this thing is real. So we just kind of went out for a while. They came in. And the hurdlers, again, they went up there 1 a.m., so she'd been exhausted. They hadn't slept all day. He's like, she's trying to sleep. She couldn't sleep, so they had been up for, I think he said probably, it was over 24 hours they've been awake. So her body shot. So we went back out, and they were like, yo, well, just let her rest for a minute. And then Ken texts us like, yo, I think they about to do a C-section. Like, the thing is dropping again. The heart rate dropping. And I walked back in there, and Ken was like, yo, can you come in and pray real quick? I was like, bet. We walk in, we start praying. And as soon as I walked in the room, I started thinking of CJ's story. Yeah. Like, yo, this is very, very similar to what happened to CJ.
No question.
Hey, and LaToya said what was funny, LaToya said she had a dream a couple of weeks ago that they unzipped her stomach and took the baby out. And I was like, wow. So literally she's going in there for normal, vaginal birth and whatever happens. And they decide, kind of on the spur of the moment, like the C-section is the best thing. So they went ahead and did that joker, man, and everything came out good. Of course, like I said, LaToya's exhausted. You can see it on her body. She's exhausted, but healthy baby, man. And Ken said, we didn't see it, but Ken said the moment that the baby came out, he said she just emotional, like let loose, like everything crying. He said he lost it. He was crying. But, man, just the emotional stuff was, you could see on Ken, like the relief, like, yo, my wife is safe, my baby's safe, and, that kind of stuff you can't take for granted, man. So, just another one of them powerful experiences, man.
And I think, see, for me, just hearing you, Carl, I get emotional because, one of the challenges in life in general, and I think this is why a lot of people, sabotage their success or sabotage, for real, their dreams and goals, is because you can't control. You know what I'm saying? And it is, Carl. See, you've been there in that room. Your wife, your job in your mind is to protect. You got a newborn child coming in. Here you got a doctor, see, you don't even know this person. And they have more control, you know what I'm saying, of your life at that point than you do. You know what I'm saying? The nurses, et cetera. So you sitting there and you just, man, you feel helpless. Like, it's like on one hand, you're excited about the possibilities. On the other hand, you like, yo, this could change the trajectory of my life. You know what I'm saying? If something go wrong, all the dreams, the goals, whatever we have, like this could alter it somewhat. And so while it's a great experience, it's also scary. So yeah, Carl, that losing control, man.
I want to just start the petition. I want to start the movement towards giving fathers an epidural. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? I'm in that joint. I'm thinking I need an epidural too. I'm not gonna hold you up. This is stressful, and I'm talking about they got stuff to help, the mom calm down. I'm saying just give me some type of sedative for the father. That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? Just give me. It could be a pill, a shot, something. But it's stressful in that joint, man. And you're right, it is a helpless feeling. Yeah. You just sitting there, you don't know what to do. So, man, it's crazy though. You see this, stuff happen, and I always just walk around and I look at people like all these people went through the same process at one point in their life, and we here. So, shout out to them. Real quick, I want to do a couple. I have 2 fair files, and they involve Eric Thomas and his son. Right?
Here we go.
And so both of them. So let me start with Jalen, fair file. So y'all know Jalen borderline just lives with us. He goes home to sleep, but he lives with the Quinnies down in Atlanta. And so, he goes to me and Jay go to the grocery store 2-3 times a week. And there is a young girl in there, cute young girl. She, young, maybe like just finished high school, maybe early college. And I've known her for, 4 years. So, I kind of watched her grow up, right? And she's been at Publix. She works there forever. And, she always says hi to me. And, I kind of play like a big brother role to her, ask her about school and, all kind of stuff. So over the last year, of course, Jalen been there. So she's gotten to know Jalen. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something. Every time we walk in and she see Jalen, I'm talking about her eyes light up like Christmas morning, like Trey on Christmas morning. And she she start blushing and waving. She'll come from she'll leave her post as a cashier to come see Bug. And, act like she coming over to say hello to me or whatever. And she's like, oh, hey. So the other day, we are in the grocery store checking out, and she's checking us out. So magically, we were in the back of a line somewhere else. So she was like, I can help you over here. So I was like, oh, hey, what's up, girl? Whatever. Jay comes over there. And so she was like, oh, Merry Christmas. What are you guys doing for Christmas? And I was like, I'm headed back to Michigan to see the fam. We leaving tomorrow. And she looked at Jalen. She was like, oh, okay, what are you doing? Jalen was like, I'm going to see my fam, and I'm going to see my girlfriend. When I tell you the Grinch stole Christmas, this little girl, her whole disposition, she looked like she had been crushed. I looked at Jay and I was like, man. And so she just rang us up the rest of the way, didn't say nothing, just boop, boop, boop. And I looked at Bug and I was like, man, come on. So I was like, all right, we'll see you later. And she was like, okay, bye. And we walked out and I was like, Bug, did you have to crush little mama's spirit? Bro, it was so bad. I was like, Jay, that was foul, bro. You could have just been like, yo, I'm about to go see the fam, hang out with some friends. Jay was strong, I got to see my girlfriend. I was like, oh, come on, Bug. So
see, this is why I think it's foul. See, I would say it's fair, because he was honest. You know what I'm saying? I would say it's fair if he told me the truth. You know what I'm saying? But he be lying to me. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like he just, truthful on everything. So because you lied to me, you could have not, and he lies sometimes by omission, see? So you know what I'm saying? It's not that he just tell a lie, but he withholds information from me. So he could have done the same thing with her.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm asking. I ain't asking you to, to ask for a number or nothing crazy. She a little young girl. Jalen tall, he handsome. She just, every time he come in there, she just light up, and he stole her whole Christmas joy. So I'm like, Bug, come on, man. Yeah. So the other fair file is Eric Thomas. Of course, we went to Toby's wedding. Shout out to Toby and Fat, who got married. A wedding like I've never been to. I've never been to a Nigerian wedding, which was really cool. Beautiful ceremony. E did the ceremony. Did a great job, of course, and it was off the chain.
But I don't know his name. He was asking what's the other pastor's name. I don't know his name.
Pastor Foster. I think his name is Jeremy Foster. Jeremy? Okay. Yeah, Pastor Jeremy. He did an awesome job too. Shout out to Hope City down there in Houston. What was I going to say? Oh, so E goes out and buys, Didi makes him buy a pair of shoes. And they like $300 something. So E tells me, yo, I don't even want these shoes. These saying I gotta wear them for the wedding. So I'm just gonna take them in my backpack, put them on right before the ceremony, and then I'm taking these joints back the next day.
No question.
So I'm like, E, what? He like, yeah, I'm gonna just walk in and make sure I don't crease them. I'm gonna do the duck walk and make sure I can take these joints back. So Fair Five, the hip hop preacher. I'm like, E, you making good money now, bro. You don't gotta do this. You can just hold on to them. You might need them again. But he was adamant about the fact that he wasn't spending $300 on some shoes he was only gonna wear once. So he's gonna take them back. Carl Fairfield.
100% fair, because I took the jacket that I bought back. 100% fear. And for what you said, I'm like, the jacket, what was it? Probably like $100 and something bucks. But I'm like, yo, it's a little brown leather jacket where I'm like, yo, I ain't never wearing this again nowhere. I don't need it like that. So I wore that joint and I took it back. So I'm in your corner.
Oh,
hey,
wow.
Carl.
Yeah.
I'm so bad though, Carl. The shoes cost $300 something. Now this Toby. This ain't even Didi. Toby was the one that's talking about we got to wear some cognac color shoes. I'm saying,
Someone killed me with the whole hook. We had a dress code. I had clothes made. I had all kinds of stuff. It was crazy.
So what I did, Carl, I got real cheap with it. I actually put the shoes in, kept them in the box. Like C said, put them in my book bag.
When I got there, the box up there.
Yeah, I took the box and put it in my box, and I didn't want to mess them up. So I get in there, and I'm looking at everybody else, and I'm like, yo, there's a couple of African uncles didn't have no cognac shoes on when I walked up in that joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be funny, but you got a couple of your Nigerian uncles.
I seen somebody with a FUBU t-shirt on. I was like,
oh no,
we all good.
Let me tell you something. When I saw the FUBU shirt on, I said, nope, I'm good. Carl, I didn't even take them out the box, Carl. I didn't even wear them. I kept my the shoes that I had on, I kept those shoes on, and I'm talking about immediately that next morning, I went and took them back, and my man going, bro, let me tell you something. One thing I don't like about America is they tell you, you can return it, whatever. Bro, it was like a full internal affairs investigation on why you bringing these shoes back. I'm talking about, bro, why you bringing these shoes back? I'm like, bro, first of all, I don't gotta tell you nothing. I got a receipt. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even opened the box. So he was like, going through this whole hookup. You could see his supervisor was looking at him like, you better make sure I'm like, bro, I'm bringing these shoes back. I got the receipt. I didn't wear them. Ain't nothing wrong with them. So they try to try to bring bodyguards out everything for me to return the shoes. So yeah, no, I promise you, bro, I'm not. My mom, I don't know, let me not put my mom under the bus.
No. Let me tell you something. You playing. That's why we always used to have Helene return it.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. You could wear them outside, hoop, kick rocks for 3 hours. Helene would take them joints back, no receipt, just in hand, no box, nothing. They'd be like, ma'am, here's your return. There you go. I promise you. Ask my dad. Every time we need to take something back, just let Mom's take them back.
Wow.
Mom's take them right back. Do you have the receipt, ma'am? Nope, no problem. Don't worry about it. Here's your money back. I promise you. Yep. So next time, E, just let me know I had Helene fly down to Houston and return for you.
In my defense, E, this was my first time in life doing it. I don't think I'll make it a practice, but I just want to say it was my first time in life doing it. And again, just the concept of it was just for the wedding. I had to wear a certain color. I ain't never doing it again.
Your style is being upgraded, okay? We caught you last time we were in Houston, you got the skinny jeans.
Oh!
Okay? Now we try to upgrade you to the brown leather Michael Jackson Beat It jacket. You know what I'm saying? The least you can do is keep it, take Tamisha on a date, wear it again. Come on now.
Next time. I got you next time.
All right, so my co-hosts on this podcast are officially the cheapest son of a gun this side of the Mississippi. So if you're out there writing fair file, the E and Carl, I didn't know Carl. I saw Carl with the jacket, and I figured I wasn't sure if he was gonna wear it again.
Oh no!
But I didn't know you took it back. Y'all, Lord have mercy. Y'all, Lord, I can't.
Hey, but we gotta address this. C was looking like the Sheik of Abu Dhabi.
We
had CJ looking so clean.
Oh, I was sweet.
When I saw CJ and Candace come out, all I could think of was, I am so happy to be here.
Oh, no doubt. We was clean. We had to post a pic somewhere, Carl, but when I tell you me and wifey was on clean. I was feeling real good. So, but it was a good time. Hey, I almost ruined Christmas yesterday. Yeah, so check this out. So, y'all know my wife decided at the last second she wanted to, come back to Michigan. So I was like, cool, I'm never going to complain about being here and hanging with y'all, being able to go to church, the whole thing. That's, I'm down. But we didn't know in time. So Santa has sent all the gifts to the house already. So I'm like, okay, I'm not paying a couple $100 to ship it there, and then we got to ship them back too. So I was like, cool. So E, you remember you had left a bunch of suitcases down there. And so I was like, oh, we got this, that big long duffel you had?
Yeah.
You left that down there and another big blue suitcase. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a good chance to not only take the toys back, but I can get E his suitcase back, whatever. So I have 4 big suitcases. So I'm like, bet. So I packed them all in. We got them all in, me and Jalen. Jalen dropped us off at the airport, and then Black came to get us. So some kind of way, now you know how it is. I got 2 kids, a stroller, 4 huge bags. So it's like moving an army. So we pull up, or Black pulls up to pick us up at the airport. Now he got your truck, E, so he got the Escalade. I'm like, cool, we got enough space. So I bring 2 big bags out, set them behind the truck, and then I go get another big bag in the stroller and put them behind the truck. Now, Black's loading up the truck, and then Candace was like, yo, can you put Avery in? So I got the car seat, I put Avery in the car seat, and by the time I look back, Black was closing up the truck. So I just, in my head, was figuring he had all the bags, forgetting that I left one of the biggest one with pretty much all of Santa's presents in that joint sitting on the curb.
Wow.
So I'm packed up, but in my mind, I'm like, yo, we packed up, I'm going. And listen, let me teach you a lesson. Always go with your gut. Something in my gut was telling me that we didn't have all the bags because Black packed it up so fast. And I'm like, okay, we got a big trunk space, but it still should have been like some Jenga going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like he should have been piecing this thing together. And so we drove off, and I was just feeling weird, like, we got everything, but Black was on the phone. And Candace was on the phone. So I was like, nah, you tripping. We got all the bags. Black wouldn't have just left it sitting in the middle of the street. So we get to the crib, boom, no bags.
You went all the way home?
No, yeah, we went, we got to Lansing, to my mom and dad's house. This is an 1.5-hour drive from the airport. We pull up, and I'm unpacking the bags, and I was like, Black, where's the big duffel? What big duffel? I'm like, yo,
wow,
are you serious? So you know me, I start calling the airport. Now, shout out to the Detroit airport being the laziest suckers in the world. They close at 4:30. The TSA and whoever you call for like, bag stuff. And so Candace calls the other line, she on hold. I call the other line, I'm on hold. Mind you, everything we got pretty much for Trey is, Santa got for Trey, is in this duffel. So I'm like, shoot, I'm calling.
Does Trey listen to the iPad?
You know what I did? Y'all know Pat.
Oh yeah.
At the Westin. We got shout out to my guy Pat, who works at the Westin. I call him. I'm like, Pat. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm like, please tell me you at work. He was like, nah, I'm not. I just left about an hour ago. And I told him what was going on. He was like, hold on, let me tell one of my guys to run down there. So he calls me back and he's like, yo, my dude runs down there. The police got the bag surrounded with canines. Yes, he's like, the dogs are sniffing the bag, like trying to see what's going on. He was like, so my boy was like, yo, I know whose bag this is and trying to like whatever. And they were like, back up, get away from the bag. And I guess they had to take it and like do a whole inspection of it, everything. So long story short, we got the bag. Well, we don't have the bag. It's still at the airport right now. I told Black, like, look, just pick it up when you go pick up E and Didi. But the bag is up there, but I guess it had to go through like a whole bomb screening. They had to swipe and scan it. I don't know. They probably opened up the gifts. I don't know. Wow. But we do have the bag up at the airport now. And
Let me tell you something.
I'm grateful for that. But yeah, the Grinch almost stole Christmas. So it's been a crazy few days. And I want to transition and shout out to our sponsor, Organifi, man. They just been doing big things, and I appreciate it. And I wanted to read you guys a quick, just because I'm always talking about Organifi, but I wanted to read you guys just a quick thought from one of our listeners, our faithful listeners. So you know it's not me, but it's other people going to the next level. And this guy wrote in and says, CJ, I'm not gonna lie. Initially, I thought the Organifi plug was just an advertisement, and while I wasn't mad at the hustle, I was skeptical about trying it. After weeks of hearing your hilarious reads and transitions, I decided to give it a shot. Man, let me tell you, my wife and I absolutely love it. I can't explain to you how much better I feel. My daily energy is way up and my mental clarity is at a whole new level. Seriously, thank you for pushing me to try this. We have already reordered 3 times. Love the podcast. Keep rocking. And so shout out to him who checked out the Organifi. You guys should go check it out too. It's about to be the new year, guys. You got to get serious about your health, got to get serious about your grind. So go to Organifi.com, ORGANIFI. Use the promo code SUCCESS, all right, and get your discount. You're going to get a big discount just for rocking with us. So I appreciate you guys. And yeah, keep rocking with us, Organifi. Shout out to you guys for being a great partner. Real quick, so this has been a crazy few weeks for us just in terms of travel and all of that, right? And so I was, I'm sure everybody by now heard about the big blackout at the Atlanta airport. And so of course, my wife and I were at the, after the wedding Sunday, we were at the airport getting ready to head to Atlanta, and the blackout hits. And so Kendall texted me, he was on the plane and was like, yo, FYI, if you headed to the airport, they're not letting anybody go to Atlanta. So we were up there, man, and you know how they do the flight. They like, okay, it's leaving at 1:30, and then you look up and it changed to 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, because they don't want you to leave, right? They want to see if there's any possible way. So we're sitting at the airport for hours, and let me tell you something, people were in there cutting up. I'm talking about like literally going off, like I'm just yelling at each other, people cutting in line, like the line to talk to an agent was like a mile long, people cutting in line, fussing, fighting. Of course, it's right around the holiday time. The Delta people, they stressed out, they yelling, people fighting, people walking up to the desk unannounced, and it just got ugly in there. And I'm sitting, and people, I got places to be. I'm like, everybody got somewhere to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, whole airport, that's why you at the airport, doggone it. And I was watching it, and Candace and I were just sitting back chilling, honestly. The kids were with, Cam and Train, and while we were definitely trying to get back because it was actually, Train's birthday dinner weekend. So we were supposed to be coming home and taking the kids from him and then letting them go on their date night. And so, I called him and was like, look, bro, I don't think we're going to be able to get there. So Candace and I sat there for a few hours and we were just chilling, man. And it was crazy to see, how different people handle different situations. You know what I mean? And I was sitting there and we were just, like I said, it was unfortunate. Trust me, nobody wants to sit in the airport for hours on end. And you just saw people, man, up and down the aisle, just going off, calling people stressed out. And I just sat there and I thought to myself and I was like, yo, this is what average behavior looks like. Like, cause I'm saying mostly everybody was tripping. And I was like, in my head, I was like, it doesn't take a whole lot to be superhuman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't really know how to say it, but it was just like, you saw like a few choice people who were just like kicking it. The dude next to us was chilling. He was an older gentleman. He was just chilling. Me and Candace were just chilling and everybody else was freaking out. And I was just like, wow, what makes people, be able to handle adversity and what makes the other people not be able to handle it? Because you got the same situation, right? Everybody there got somewhere to go, somewhere to be, and it's important, right? You're at the airport. And what makes people handle different situations differently? So I'm not talking about the airport per se, E, and you could jump in on this, but what makes us as humans, be able to handle an adverse situation in a way that says, all right, cool, I'm gonna be patient. What is gonna be is gonna be, and handle it with grace. And then what makes people just freak out and not being able to handle it? And I couldn't help but looking at some of these people who are freaking out, cussing, going off and saying, yo, their life probably looks like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a microcosm of how you deal with adversity in life, whether it be your kids and a teacher or your husband or wife or whatever. Like, this is a microcosm for how you treat situations. And, I sat back and I was like, yo, we looking like Gandhi just by not going off. You know what I'm saying? It was like, kind of like when I was in school, like, kids would be, cutting up, cussing out the teacher and stuff. If you just didn't do nothing, you looked like a great student. You might not have been shining, but you look like a great student. And so, E, I don't know if you can expound on this, but I really wanted to talk to people, especially around the holidays or other times when things get stressful. Like, how do you deal with those adverse situations? How do you, if you're somebody who's at the airport that day going off, add more stress to your day because, the airport was without power. What exactly would you like Delta to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, the power's out. They couldn't even get the, the jet bridge to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were sitting on the plane. It could have been worse. People were sitting on the plane for 5 hours in Atlanta on the runway. They couldn't go anywhere, right? So we're sitting in the airport. We got food here. We got lights. And I'm like, wow, as Americans, you always call them first world problems, but how do you deal with that particular type of stress? And do you think somebody who is known for going off and being in those type of situations, what would you say to them? And how could you get them to be more, not even patient, but just how to deal with these situations better?
Yeah, you know what, see, we were talking last night on the prayer line, and TJ was talking about being the brand. And he kept saying, my wife used to tell me that, because of course he played football and has coached. And he was like, he would be going off during the game. And not going off, but you know how it is. See, you play football, you got your coach when they feel like the refs have given a bad call or, something like that. He's like, so a couple times, he was going off and his wife was like, be the brand. You know what I'm saying? You're not the brand. These kids looking at you. You got parents in the stands looking at you like, you need to be the brand. And he was just like, I wasn't feeling that. And he said, then I hooked up with you, E, and you told me the same thing she told me, but I could take it from you a little different. Be the brand, be the brand. And somebody on the phone said, what does that really mean to be the brand? Like, I hear y'all saying that, but what does that really mean? And I broke down Chick-fil-A. That's my go-to. And I was saying, when we got our Chick-fil-A in Lansing, the struggle was getting people from Michigan to be hospitable. Like, it's just not a part of the culture, And so what I was explaining to them was, and I don't know if Carl remembers, but we used to be like, the customer service is fire. Like, man, where you from? And they was like, oh, we from Charlotte. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or we from Alabama. And I'd be like, what? They was like, yeah, we opened up the store. And then me and Carl also noticed that they didn't have any adults working there. It was all kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Individuals whose, minds hadn't been, they have what they say, fixed mindset. Yeah. These kids don't have a fixed mindset, but they have a growth mindset. And so as I watched that, and I was talking to the people on the prayer line, I was like, that's it. In Detroit, you go off because that's the brand. Like, that's what you've been taught. You've been taught that, if somebody say something to you, you let them have it. You snap. So what I've come to realize is that the way that some of us, the way we were born or the way we were conditioned or the environment is like, that's what we use as our cues, as our code. And then there's a few of us like myself who actually start reading, who started doing some self-assessing and was like, I don't really like the outcomes. Like, this is what I was taught, but it ain't working between me and my mom. Like, bro, I would go months and months on end without me and my mom talking. And me and my mom talk about it now. Like, that's our family. You know what I'm saying? We call it the Craigs. Like, that's our maiden name. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I know how I'm acting, I know how I'm acting. I feel very good about how I'm acting. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I felt wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't feel bad when I go off. You know what I'm saying? When me and my mom get into it, I don't feel bad. I don't like the outcomes, if that makes sense, guys. That's what I didn't like. I was like, me and my mom just got into it, and now we ain't talking for a few months. I don't like that. And so what I had to say to myself, was like, I don't like the outcomes, bruh. So I started reading books. How to Win Friends and Influence People. You know what I'm saying? I started reading Stephen Covey stuff where he talked about win-win, lose-lose, lose-win, win-lose. And I was just like, E, bro, if you're going to get different outcomes, you're going to have to do something different. What you're doing is not working. And I just think that's what it is. Some of us on cruise control. And so we are accustomed to, going off, or we're accustomed to, like we've been taught, don't wait in the back of the line, go beast mode, jump in front of people, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about how other people feel. Like, you got to take care of you first. And so I remember stealing from the mall. I remember buying, stolen items. I remember, people buying food stamps. I give you 100 for 200. Like, I remember that. That was a part of my culture. But then one day I woke up and was like, E, like, I ain't trying to be funny, Carl, but the people who are doing this, I'm not seeing them making 7 figures. I'm not seeing them become multimillionaires. Like, I'm not seeing them, live their best life. And I was just like, I know how I was born and raised. Like, I know what the culture told me to do. But if I keep doing this, I'm not going to get where I'm trying to get to. So let me study the people who are where I want to be and what are they doing. And then that's when I started realizing, they tipping people before the waiter even does anything. Then they not tipping based on the what do you call it? Like, based on the service. They tipping based on their principle, that they give 20 or 30% regardless of how that other person act. And so I realized, like, E, you can keep doing this. You can keep doing what you were taught, and all of it weren't bad, but some of it was bad. You can continue to live this type of life and get these type of results. Or you can do different things and get different results. And so for me, that's what happened to me. I was just tired. Enough was enough. I was just tired, bro. And I wanted to live the life we live in now. You feel me? I wanted to live this life.
Yeah, no, and I think the crazy thing is, you see it spill over in the other aspects of life. And so, like, for instance, like, we went out to dinner. Where were we at the other night? Grand Lux, probably. They just didn't bring my food. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man was nowhere to be found. They just didn't bring my food. And it's like, yo, you can go off, you can get mad, but like, what is that really gonna do for you at the end of the day? You know what I mean? So I don't really know what the win is there, like you said, Ian. But I just think you said it. We get so caught up on self, and I really want to, help people, man. If you're one of those people out there that you prone to go off or prone to get frustrated real quick or angry and like find that balance. Like, to me, it's about finding that balance. Carl, you keep a pretty level head. What's your secret on that?
It's the exact same thing E said on the opposite side. Like, my dad, I remember I joked and said, like, I know the show Jerry Springer was fake for the simple reason of I don't care what my mom did to my dad, he would never react like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time you watch the show, it's the same reaction. Oh, you did what? I was like, my dad would never react like that. I grew up with my dad, I'm talking about as even keel as you could ever imagine. So how the culture of Detroit is to go off, like what I was exposed to is just kind of laid back. Whatever it is, it's not that deep. You alive, you breathing, we could figure it out beyond that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a huge part of it is just your exposure and your upbringing. But then to what E's saying, the flip side, E, is there's some times where I'm sitting back calm and I do need to go off. You know what I mean? There are times you just got to learn, like, we always ask the question, then what? You know what I mean? Like, okay, if somebody's doing something that's like, I'm going to use this as a tangible example. Somebody bullying or something, like that's an example to, you got to say something. But the circumstances that, like C said, somebody jump in front of you in front of the line or, cut you off in traffic and you about to go off and start like, what do you get out of that? And I'm being real. C just asked it, what do you get out of that?
You get a lot out of it. You get a lot out of it. You get, just growing up in Detroit, you get out of it. It's like going to, let's say, the road to the Final Four, and you advance from 32, to 16 to the Elite 8. You feel in your spirit, this sense of accomplishment. Like,
it was a win.
I ain't no punk. Yeah, I ain't no punk. You can't talk to me any kind of way. I let them have it. I let her know. You don't talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? So the win is you were aggressive. The win was, you didn't let nobody punk you out or you didn't let nobody back you down. That's the win. But at the end of the day, though, I asked myself this question: what did I really win?
Right. What did you win? Did that help
your
family?
What did I really win?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what C done realized was the win with the restaurant was, one, I go there all the time. First of all, when I'm in Houston. So I went last night, and when I got there last night, the manager was there and was like, "What up, E?" I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Yo, I heard you was here. You ain't called me." And I was like, "Yo, bro, I forgot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I forgot to hit you up." And I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't that deep, because a lot of people hit managers up because it's like, we want to cut the line or we want a discount. And I'm the quite opposite. I used to be a server. So my thing is, if you busting tables, you know what I'm saying, or you a bus boy, like, yo, that's not the most glorified position, and people could take advantage of you. People can say, well, you ain't do this and you ain't do that. People looking for excuses, Carl, not to tip. Just bottom line. So I told my man, like, I'm good. Like, I didn't call you because I'm a regular customer. I'm not trying to get no hookup at the Grand Lux. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this: the other day we went to Grace's.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring it up.
Yeah, and the manager looked out for me and he paid for our meal. But I still gave the young man who served me, I still gave my man a $50 tip. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just saying I'm not taking. You know what I'm saying? If you pay for my family to eat, I'm not looking to take. See, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to get over. And so I'm saying, Carl, we feel like that's a win. But when I got to the restaurant, for the manager, he wasn't able to say, "Oh, I watch y'all," because he listened to the podcast. My man listened to the podcast. He follow us. So it would have been y'all talk all that talk, you know what I'm saying, on y'all podcast, but y'all not the real brand. You say one thing, you doing something else. You done went off on my server for whatever. And so I think the win is...
You took back the $300 pair of shoes and the brown leather jacket.
You feel me? So for me, man, I just feel like we got to be cautious. And most of us, what you said, Carl, we don't think about the future. All we think about is going off. And this is what TJ said. He said there was a young man whose father was, coming to the games on a reg. He said he didn't know who my man was. Like, he didn't know he was being watched. And he said, bruh, why did that dude come to TJ about a month ago and he's with one of those, it's not like Detroit Tigers or the Yankees, but it's a triple, I guess it's called triple A team.
Yeah, minor league.
Minor league, and now TJ just signed a contract with that particular team because the father said he was watching TJ's integrity as a coach the last few years, and he loves him, and he wants him to do a character development boy for his minor league team, bro. Come on. So you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, like, you're thinking about the immediate, Carl, when you're going off. You're thinking about the right now. You're thinking about, how you feel at this very second, and you don't realize, a year's gonna pass, 3 years gonna pass, 4 years gonna pass. And the thing I love about ETA, if there's one thing I love about the response we get from people, is when people say, yo, y'all act just like, you the same dude on the video. Y'all the same dudes on a podcast. Like, y'all the same. And that's the greatest feeling to me, see, is that we're not one way trying to pretend to be something. When people are around us, bruh, they get the sense that you are who you say you are. So, yeah, just think about the future, man.
It's weird, just because I just left Houston, y'all. We were walking through the Galleria Mall, and it's just weird how people approach E. Like, it's not even on like, it's just so, like, it's cool to watch. Like, people don't be on like, fanned out, oh my God, it's E.T. We get some of that, but I'm saying the average person that walk up to E is just like, man, Eve, I appreciate what you do. Love you, man. Thank you. Like it ain't so I'm just saying, like, the reason they react to you like that is because they see you as that regular dude next door, and you are exactly who you say you are. Yeah, so when they come to you, it ain't like you just this dude somewhere way off of the astronaut, whatever land, doing something stupid. It's just like they look at you like, wow, like this the dude that changed my life, and he is the regular dude that I could just walk up to. Homegirl the other day just walked up like, E, can I hug you? Like, I'm sure a young girl. She probably like, what, 18, 19, E? The other day, she just walked up like, man, I just want to give you a hug, like, I appreciate you. And they ain't on nothing. It's just like, man, like, wow, you are exactly who you are. So it's crazy.
But what is this I hear about you shutting down somebody for an autograph, though?
Yeah, what about that one?
Or a picture. Was it a picture, autograph, something?
Yeah.
See, first time ever, see. First time ever, bro. First time ever, see. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, well, we know you're getting Hollywood now. You know what I'm saying? Did you have your sunglasses on?
Man, let me tell y'all something, man. And Didi felt, this is why I'm tripping, because Didi felt bad, and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Didi felt bad. You know what I'm saying? And Didi got on my head about it. She was like, yo, I can't believe you. That was so rude and inconsiderate. Like, yo, what happened? That's not you, right? And I'm like, I'm dying laughing, see, because I'm like, I can't win for losing, bro. So what happened was, we had been gone all day, and you guys were with us, and then you guys left, and it was me, Carl, and Tamisha, and Didi, and Jada, because Jalen went with you guys. And so, it's one of those things, Carl, where, for real, we in the mall. And unfortunately, I ain't tripping, but you got 5-6 days of it. Like, we here over a week and a half. So Didi was like, yo, I want to go and grab something from Grand Lux real quick. I want to get that butter cake. And so I was like, all right, cool. So she was like, but I don't really want to go because I don't feel like, when you walking through the mall, people going to stop you. And not that I'm tired, but Didi, like, it's late. It was probably, Carl, about 9:30, 10, and so Didi was like, you know what, just forget it, and I was like, I was like, no, come on, let's go. And so she called and ordered it, Carl. She called and ordered it. So for me, it's like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm sure she don't get the same feeling when it's cold.
Oh, no
so
doubt.
I'm like, all right, bet, let's roll. So she called in, the lady was like, it's gonna take 20 minutes. So Didi was like, bet, let's go. So my fault. I needed to, my phone had died because we had been out all day. And so I was like, I need 10 minutes to charge it up. Charge it for 10. So now by the time we get into the mall, it is doggone packed in the mall. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, let's go this way. So I see one of our BU students, JJ Simmons, and I had seen JJ earlier. And he was like, yo, Carl, you remember I seen him? And he was like, yo, E, let's get a video. So let's get a pic. So I did a pic. He was like, let's get a video. I was like, video. So then I told him, I was like, yo, if I got time, JJ, I'm gonna hook up with you. You know what I'm saying? Because he out here hustling, bro. He out here doing his thing. He still got CDs, see? He pushing CDs. You know what I'm saying? T-shirts. So he out here on his grind. So I saw him after I told him I was gonna hook up with him. He was the first person I saw when we came out the mall, and I was like, JJ, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm with my fam, you know what I'm saying? He was like, that's cool. I was like, yo, I'll call you though if I got time. So we walking off, I'm talking about, I'm on bodyguard, like I'm my bodyguard. And I'm like, yo, we ain't stopping, we ain't talking to nobody. I'm gonna get you to Grand Lux, like you are not gonna get on my head about, I knew I shouldn't have went. So JJ, I guess, some dude must have been like to JJ, like, is that ET? And so my man, like they followed me for like, Carl, a half a mile. I'm almost, out through the mall. And my man run up on me like, yo, ET, I can't believe that's you. I was like, yo, bro, I was like, yo, bro, appreciate you, man. He was like, thanks for everything. I was like, yo, bro, appreciate you too, man. And I was like, but I'm with the fam, bro. I appreciate the love, though. I would normally stop, but my wife, I appreciate the love. So then 2 seconds later, like they come up a little closer, and he like, bro, can I get that pic with you? And I was like, bro, I promise you I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but I'm with my family, and my wife just ordered something from the restaurant. I got to get my wife to the restaurant. I don't mean to be rude. Shook his hand again, and then took off. And now Didi like, oh, I can't believe he just wanted a picture. I can't believe you didn't stop. I'm like, yo, you the one saying you was frustrated and tired of all me shaking these hands and doing all of this, and you just wanted to politely and quietly go to the restaurant and get your stuff. But Carl, I didn't care. I went straight I'm talking about, I know the assessment. I went straight gorilla and not gorilla. I didn't even go gorilla flamingo, where I was like, yo, I ain't tripping, bro. My man could be upset. I showed him love. I shook his hand. I gave my man eye contact. I explained what was going on. And sure enough, as soon as we walked into the restaurant, I'm talking about 20 seconds later, the lady was just coming around with the butter cake for D, and I felt like a winner.
I was gonna say, was that a win?
Let me tell you something. I felt like my man may have taken a baby loss because he didn't get to pick with me, but my girl got what she wanted, and I aimed to please my girl. Yeah, I felt very comfortable, Carl. Very comfortable.
Sound like the grown man gifts was on the line.
I felt very comfortable. I felt very comfortable.
Man.
Yeah, no, but I'm teasing. I know I caught wind of it, but I didn't know what happened. Of course, man, he is the most gracious person when it comes to all of that. But sometimes you got to eat butter cake.
I'm talking about.
Gotta get it warm.
I'm talking about on the line, warm butter cake. I'm talking about warm butter cake.
No, you stuck to what it was, and I want to just briefly, I want to put a bow on this conversation just in terms of what we talked about, E, because as you were talking, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, you said it like it was a part of the culture, right? And so like the way you respond to situations and the way some people respond to these situations is often cultural. That's what you do and that's the norm, and you said you weren't winning. And it's crazy, like the older I get, and this is something I try to explain to our staff, and I think you guys, and I'm sure they're listening and they know, and this is full transparency. On our staff, there is, everybody wants to do a good job. Like I love our staff. They work hard. Everybody wants to grind. Everybody wants to do what they want to do. But there's also some self in it. Like I want to get be the one to do it. I want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we have that issue that we have to address from time to time of, people like, okay, this was my task, or I was supposed to do this, or how come I didn't? And you know what's crazy? The older I get, the only thing I'm married to is the win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not on nothing else. Like, I'm really on that. Like, the thing I'm most concerned about these days is the win. And so even if it goes against something that I may have believed before, and I don't know if it's just a maturity thing, you a little older than me, you probably been on it for a grip, but I literally don't care. Like, I don't need any shine. I don't need any credit. Like, I want the win. And so I look at these people, E, who are having trouble, like you said, it carries over to other aspects of life. You going off at the airport. I'm sure you going off at the daycare. I'm sure you're going off at your job. I'm sure you're going off everywhere. And you're so in your feelings, you're no longer, or maybe you never were married to the win. And so what's the win in this situation? Like, how do you get the victory in this situation? And that's the only thing I'm married to, now is, how can I make the best out of this situation? How can we, deliver the best conference? How can we deliver the best podcast, the best, whatever it is we're doing? I remove myself and just try to get the win, because if we win, everybody wins. You know what I'm saying? Like if Carl wins, I win. If E wins, I win. Like So I try to remove self as much as possible, but I think when you're going off at the airport, you're no longer married to the win, you're married to your feelings. You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know if that's a bridge that you crossed at a point in life when you started to be married to the win, but I think there's people out there who, for real, they get so caught up in culture and this is the way we did it and my mama did it and all these people did it, and they're not married to a win, they're married to themselves. You know what I mean?
And here's what's crazy, see, what's crazy is we got to get to a point where we ask ourselves this question: what's the goal? I think that has to be number one. You got to ask yourself, see, what's the goal? Like immediately before you go off, you got to ask yourself, what's the goal? You know what I'm saying? What's the goal? What am I trying to accomplish? If it's your marriage, you got to ask yourself, like, what am I trying to do right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, legitimately, for real. Because when I was younger, me and Didi would get into it. See, I'm talking about before I know it. We get into it, and I know when we got into it. Like, that's it. That's it. We ain't about to be able to go watch no movie together. You know what I'm saying? Like, the spirit she in right now, that's it. It's a wrap. It's over. I just blew it. You know what I'm saying? I literally blew it. Like, we on our way to go to the mall, or we on our way to go to the movies, or we on our way to go to our family's, function. And I blew it, see? And I blew it because I just went off. And I went off, but I didn't even know. Like, as some of us, you go off, you don't even realize you went off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even realize you went off. And what I mean by that is not that you don't know that you went off when you went off, but that was never your intent, Carl. Like, you didn't go into it to go off, and then you look like, shoot, I went off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too late to come back. And so now what I try to do, Carl, with every situation is I ask myself, what's the goal here, E? What are you trying to do? And then what are the steps to take to get to that? So to me, the goal ain't getting into it no more and not talking for, however many hours it's gonna take for her to get over it. The goal is we have a legitimate challenge that we keep facing. What do we do to overcome that? You feel me? So I think that's the biggest problem. See, people go in with their feelings, and not to throw nobody under the bus, see, but you did it, and you introduced it, so I just want to keep it 100.
Oh, I thought you might have threw somebody under the bus.
No. So when you were talking about staff, I had an individual from our staff call us the other day because they had an interaction with someone that we do business with, and at the end of the day, see, they were just like, well, it didn't go right. I called them and we had a conversation, and it wasn't kind of how you have a conversation with them, and they didn't give me the same respect that they give you, and I didn't mean for it to go here, but it went here, and I feel like they trying to, and I was just like, okay, let's stop for a minute. What's the goal here? Like, what are we really talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to get the same outcomes I might get or C might get, then we got to ask the question of what's the goal? And so they were like, well, when I was talking to them, I felt like they didn't respect me like they respect you and C. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm already hearing too many I's and me's.
You feel me? And so I was just like, oh, okay. So what was talk to me? So what, I'm not getting it. So what happened? And so at the end of the conversation, they was for real, like, okay, I got it. I'm too self-consumed. And they were transparent, see? They said it, that, yep, I see the problem. It's about me. You know what I'm saying? And because I asked the question, it was like, well, what's the problem? Well, they gonna think, they said that I didn't do this and do that, and you and C gonna think, I said, C and I gonna, what? Me and C already know you. So me and C ain't gonna think nothing because some outside vendor said something about you. We would never think that. So due to the fact that we don't think that, what's the real issue? Because me and C ain't on that. We know who you are. We know your strengths. We know your weaknesses. You know our strengths. You know our weaknesses. So what is this really about? And so at the end of the day, it's like, well, I want to be, the way people respect you and the people respect C, I want to be respected like that. I said, oh, okay, well, if you want to be respected like we're respected, then you got to do what we do. You feel me? And I said, think about my relationship with people. They've already watched 20 videos, 30, 40 videos. I've already poured into them. I've talked to them at a conference. I've looked in their face. I've called them and wished them a happy birthday. I called their mom when their mom was going through cancer and prayed with them. So how many times have you done that? So if you have a relationship that's just on business, that what you're trying to do is use your leadership to lord over people. And that's just not how it works. So at the end of the day, see, they walked away like, yep, I got it. I know what I need to do. But it's like what you said in the beginning. They were so frustrated with, I'm not getting the same respect you getting, that she getting. I'm like, you can't, because you're not doing what we do. And then you going off. At no point do you ever hear me with a client go off. Even if I don't agree with them, I don't go off. You know what I do? I say, you know what? I am so sorry. I did not communicate effectively. I'm doing a poor job, in this process. You know what? I'm going to ask C, do you mind if C calls you or Josh calls you and deal with this? Okay, thank you. Because apparently I don't have what it takes to communicate in the way you like to communicate. And so I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
It's
you know what's funny? As you're talking, I'm thinking I had a conversation with Elijah the other day. Shout out to Elijah. But Elijah was saying, obviously he's in real estate, so you do a lot of cold calling and stuff like that, right? And he said, he was actually online. He does a Facebook Live and he cold calls and teaches people how to cold call and the whole nine. So he was on live with somebody, right? And they were going off and they hung up, cussed him out and hung up, right? He called them back and of course they didn't answer,
right,
and left a voicemail and was like, hey, sorry about that. I think my phone might have died or I lost reception. We got disconnected some kind of way. Wow. Just give me a call back when you get a shot. When you get a shot, he said, give me a call back. And then he taught the lesson and he said, listen, I'm doing business. He said, if that person ever does want to come back and do the deal, I didn't leave it awkward.
Yeah.
They thinking, oh, maybe he didn't hear me go off. Maybe he didn't hear me hang up. He said, so it could be, he said, I've had it where 2-3 months later, people called me back. Whereas if I would have went off with them and we'd have destroyed the relationship, it'd have been over. He was like, I gave them the opportunity to then come back because it's not about me. It's about the deal I was trying to get done, the business or whatever. And I thought that was genius. I was like, my man took all of his own personal feelings out of it. Because I don't know if I would have been able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm running the business, but you're not about to cuss me out. And so, but he was saying you allow for the win. And, I tell you, man, shout out to everybody in Boston and New England. I can't stand the Patriots, though. But, man, you got to respect what they do. They just continue to win over and over because I promise you, it ain't about nothing but the win. All they care about is the win. They done let veterans go who've been there forever that you think is just a huge part of the team. They you can go. They literally stick to the winning culture, what is best for us. And I'm not suggesting you're not loyal to people or whatever, but every decision they make, E and I talked about it. This is a funny story. E comes to me, and shout out to the fact that we went to the movies together.
No
right?
doubt.
So E made us go see a whack Denzel movie. What was it called?
Is that an oxymoron, though? Is that an oxymoron?
Israel Esquire.
Did you say moron?
I said, is that an oxymoron? Is that an oxymoron, Carl?
Yeah, no, it is. A whack Denzel movie. No, it just wasn't that good. Diddy liked it, I guess, but whatever. I was sleeping in that joint. But anyway, so listen, we go to the movies, right? And so, and all the wives were with us, the 6 of us, right? And Jalen and Jada were with us, but they were too cool to sit with us. So it was the 6 of us, we watching this movie, and we get to the theater, and E was like, yo, did you see the end of the Patriots-Steelers game? And I was like, nah, because I guess that's what took E so long to get down to the car. We were in the car waiting on him. And I guess he was watching the end of the game, but I give up. If it's not Michigan State or the Lions, I'm not about to force it. You know what I'm saying? I told Carl. He's like, I thought you'd be watching the game. I'm like, wife wanted to walk through the mall. I'm good on the Patriots and Steelers. That ain't my squad. And so he comes to the theater and he's like, yo, did you see the end of the Patriots-Steelers game? And I was like, nah. He was like, crazy, bro. So he runs down the whole last 5 minutes of the game. And he's like, yep, and the Steelers won it. And I was like, oh, the Steelers won. They beat the Patriots finally. Praise God. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he's like, yep, Steelers got it done, bro. It was crazy. So then, the movie's getting ready to start. It's like 800 previews. I'm looking through my phone and I see Patriots winning in the shocker. And I turned to E after he just explained to me for 10 minutes how the Steelers just won the game. I turned to E and I'm like, yo, the Steelers didn't win, bro. The Patriots won. He looked at me, he was like, no way possible. I was like, bro, I'm sitting here trying to tell you, look at my phone. I put up ESPN and showed him the final score of the game. So E was like, you gotta be joking. So he's digging through his phone and he finds out, of course, touchdown got over, whatever. But at the end of the day, once again, the doggone Patriots won. I don't know if you got anything you want to add on that.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't cut it off like that, bro. I watched the game. Okay, don't do that.
Apparently you did.
Listen to me.
Apparently you did.
And here's what's so funny, Carl. I watched the last 5 minutes of the game. You know, Didi and I she furniture shop every day until she find whatever she's looking for. I guess.
Yeah, we see a couch.
No doubt.
I see some little spaceship sitting in your living room right now.
She's still in plastic right here.
Bro, I promise you, bro. So we so when I got home, I was like, you know what? I want to watch the end of the game. And for me, you know, I have a relationship with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, I was fortunate enough 1 year during like the stretch of the end of the season and the playoffs, you know, to accompany the team, right? And so, you know, built a, you know, whatever type of relationship, professional relationship with Tomlin. Great dude, man. I met him in Vegas before, a couple years even before I got the invite to come in, spend some time with the team. So I love my man. Big Ben is just, man, so down to earth. AB got a chance to, you know, kick it with AB for a minute. Bell wasn't there at the time. He was injured, you know. And so, man, you know, I just, you know, when you start working with teams, and then Tomlin was so cool to Didi, man. You know, you got a lot of these dudes that they're so focused and locked in that they, like you said, Carl, and that's not regular people sometimes because they're so locked in. I remember Tomlin coming out to the waiting area where Didi was and was like, yo, glad to meet you, you know, whatever, just kicking it with a real cool, like, look, once a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, always, anytime you want to come to a game, whatever. So just cool. So, of course, I got an infinity, Carl, love now for, you know, some of the teams that I work with. And so I'm like, man, Tomlin, I hope you can get this monkey off your back, right? And so I rushed to the room. Didi like, they ready to go. I was like, I know, boo. We got about 10 minutes, right? So I'm watching it. Pittsburgh do their thing, you know, they stop the Patriots. I'm like, oh, okay, game might be over. But then the Patriots, 3 and out, I think, stop them. So I'm like, uh-oh, here we go again. You know, it's only 2 minutes and something left. This is seemed like your boy, and for those of you who want to win, what you have to do for me is you have to operate with a sense of urgency. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about a sense of urgency when it's the last 2 minutes of the game. And I think that's what's wrong with Stafford. You know, Stafford now has this thing, CJ, and he get on my nerves, see, because it seems like when he's ready to score, see, he can score,
he can
bro.
Get it done.
It just seemed like when Stafford is ready, bro, he could put up points. But it seems like in the first and second and third quarters, for whatever reason, Carl, he's like in this chill mode. So I want to say, for those of you who are like, a freak, he up at 3 o'clock in the morning, he seemed like he ain't never, whatever. It's because I understand that you have to operate at this sense of urgency at the highest level, like on a regular basis, because you can't always turn it off and turn it on because of circumstances, you know, that are outside of you. So, of course, I think it's Gronkowski. He must have threw one 26-yard pass to him, Carl. Then another 20-something yard pass to him, Carl. Then another 30-yard pass. I'm like, is this possible? And one of them was like a shoestring catch. Like Gronkowski, it should have hit the ground. And my man caught it before the strings could hit the ground. And then before I know it, touchdown. And so I'm looking like, oh, that's it. He done done it again. Mind you, I went to the Super Bowl, Carl, and I saw Brady come back on the Falcons and took it into overtime. So I'm like, yo, it's over. So I was like, you know what? It's 50-something seconds. Just wait a minute to see. So Pittsburgh get the ball. Bruh, whatever you do in life, y'all, please tackle life. Please wrap it up. And see, know what I'm talking about because he played football. Like, don't make assumptions. Like, wrap it up. Whatever you're doing, execute. And here's why I was telling one of our staff members the reason why this person was so pissed at you, it had nothing to do with what you thought. You thought it was against you. No, here's what happened. See, this person has been following me. This person has gotten coaching from CJ. This person, man, has been really close to us and was able to land me a huge deal with a sponsor, Carl. And you know the sponsor's been our thing.
Huge,
and so this person was pissed, Carl, because this person was like, I got the contract, I got the money, I got everything, and you guys are holding up the process. Like, I want to prove to E that, like, yo, I'm serious. Like, imagine, see, you being a mentee and you can look out for your mentor, that you could do something big for your mentor. And I had to explain to them, it's not what you think. What they pissed about, Carl, is they keep hearing me say execution is worship, execution is worship. And they got the deal done. And what's holding them up from getting the deal done is Toby Wedding. You feel what I'm saying? And I had to explain to them, like, yo, we a family. So when we come to Tobe's thing, everybody coming. And I'm not saying it's right, but for Tobe, we shutting all operations down. So for them, Carl, they own some like, yo, once you sign the contract, the check is coming. And I want to prove to you that I'm serious about what I'm serious about. And so when my man Juju, I think his name, he caught like a 10, 12-yard pass, and he went close to the sideline, Carl, and the Patriots defenders, it was awkward. I think they think he went out of bounds, Carl. Even though they didn't tackle him, they thought he went out of bounds. And I'm telling you, Carl, a routine 12-yard catch turned into a like 60, 70-yard run. And I believe, I think he must have been tired of something, Carl, because there was no reason for them to catch up. It was kind of like he slowed down some. And they were able to catch him when he slowed down. And then the next play, touchdown. So I left, because y'all in the car. Didi like, come on, come on. So once they scored, it was only about 30 seconds left. I was like, oh, that's game. And I looked and saw he didn't, I don't know if it's the truth or not. I can't get caught up in all this stuff, Carl, but they're saying that he didn't have possession of the ball, which is weird because if you ever seen a running back, they'll just extend the ball. And as soon as they extend it in the air, it's a touchdown.
It's a touchdown,
even if they don't hold on to it.
That was
but
a
some
catch,
kind of way. I thought it was a catch, see? I really did. And if nothing else, see, I thought, if nothing else, he touched the ground. So if nothing else, don't give him the touchdown.
But I got
put
you.
him down at the 1 or 2 yard line, wherever he was, right? So long story short, I left after that. And so they did another little run or whatever. They didn't get any yards. And so the next one, your boy faked it like he was going to spike the ball, Carl, but he didn't spike the ball. He faked it like he was going to spike the ball because they were only 3 points down to tie the game up. So he was faking it like, I'm going to spike it, stop the clock, and we're going to kick a field goal. But he faked it, but he didn't fake it. He actually threw it, and one of the defenders knocked it up. Interception. I was like, unbelievable. But here's what I want to say, see, I watched the post-game show, and the man, Belichick is a beast. The dude said the reason why we caught it is because all week Coach made us practice that play. He made us practice the spike boy. And so we knew when he was faking it like he was spiking it, we had already practiced for that. So in our mind, we didn't take a play off. He said, because that's what happens. The beauty of the play is it looks like, oh, he gonna throw it, he gonna spike it anyway, so we might as well just chill. Like, if he's spiking it, it ain't no play. He was like, nope, Coach taught us. He said, Coach taught us, if the clock is still running, you play as if it's a real play. Don't you ever take a play off. And so we say stuff like no plays off, no days off, Carl, but there are circumstances that make us take days off, that make us relax. And so my man was like, nope, I wasn't relaxing. I ran, I defended the receiver because he was still running, and then boom, I hit the ball up, boom, my man got an interception, and that's how they won the game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and once again, the winners win in this culture, and you saw it. They were ready for, the moment. They were ready for the play, man. And I mean, hey, we'll see in the playoffs. They just so hard to like. Man, you cannot hate on greatness.
Yeah.
You absolutely can't.
And he played for Michigan. So really about to kill my man.
The double whammy.
Double hate you.
We don't use swear words on the podcast. Stop cussing. Let's jump into Ask ET. And Ask ET is sponsored today by HelloFresh. All right, HelloFresh delivers right to your door in a recyclable, insulated packaging. All the ingredients come pre-measured in a handy labeled meal kit, so you know which ingredients go with which recipe. They also offer a wide variety of chef-curated recipes that change weekly. There are 3 plans to choose from. Classic plan, which contains a variety of meat. Veggie plan, which contains vegetarian as well as plant-based proteins. And the family plans that's quick and easy. Candace and I had the salmon dill. It was like a salmon dill type joint. That was crazy the other day. So we enjoyed that. And shout out to Dr. Downs, Adam Downs, who came on the podcast and talked about addiction. I know that was a favorite episode of a lot of you guys. He's down 30 pounds, guys, and he's doing HelloFresh. He just sent me a picture of it last night, Carl. You can see it right here. And they did it. They did it big. So he's using that to get healthy. And man, again, just allows you to cook some stuff you probably never would have eaten.
Never.
So listen, man, try the things you never thought you could cook on your own and enjoy eating outside of your comfort zone. HelloFresh Box delivery is the highlight of your week, knowing dinner got that much easier. This segment is brought to you by HelloFresh. Remember that, all right? For $30 off your first week at HelloFresh, visit HelloFresh.com and enter Success30, all right? $30 off your first week, guys. HelloFresh.com, promo code Success30. All right, let's jump into Ask ET. We got quite a few and some Christmas-themed joints here. So, E, you ready?
Oh, man, I'm so ready.
Just make sure you're ready, man. Don't give these people whack answers.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
All right, let's see. Jaleesa in Tennessee said, thank you guys so much for the podcast. You can't imagine how much it helps me through my day. Quick question. What did you ask for Christmas? Or if you could have one thing, what would it be? A Lions Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does that count?
Right.
Jesus,
right.
Jesus had to come down himself and make that happen.
Is it possible though? See, is that even possible? Are we still in the running? Do we still have a chance to make the playoffs?
I promise you, I'm like, I'm not big on gifts. Shout out to my wife who bought me like 5 gifts the other day and like gave them to me before we left. She got me all kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm not even into that. So, but she is. So I will be shopping here shortly. And every year it's just like I'm not great at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not sure. I'm like, we're going on the cruise. Is that you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying for me, you
does
just
that do anything for you? You know what I'm saying? So, E, what do you want for Christmas?
Yeah, see, man, for real. If I could have whatever I wanted, and man, we blessed. So I don't really need anything, in terms of material gifts. But my family, bro, on either side, if we could have like Christmas dinner together, and I don't mean like my immediate family. Like my mom, my sisters, my dad, like not like that, like my cousins or my siblings. There's cousins that my grandma had 14 kids. So there's a lot of cousins I have, and I haven't seen them in maybe, I'm not exaggerating, 10, 15, 20 years, and then on my father's side, my biological father, I've never done dinner with any of my siblings like that. Like we've never, like maybe me and my sister and my father, but my brothers, their kids, so if I could have something, man, it would be great. What was the movie, Carl? Antoine Fisher, remember at the end, the big table, whatever. And I feel my man, like that's not just a movie. Like I know where that came from, so if there's one thing I could have, I would love to sit down with my family on either side and, play spades, man, and just laugh and just talk about, the last 15, 20 years. So yeah, that would be the one thing I would want for Christmas.
All right, let's jump into another joint here. Oh, this one's heavy. Please don't use my name. E.T., I want to thank you so much for your words and your videos. They've helped keep me sane through a long and difficult divorce. However, the holidays are coming and it is the toughest time. This will be the second Christmas since the divorce and the first time the kids will be with their dad. Any advice on overcoming the anxiety I'm starting to feel about Christmas? Also, any advice on recreating a friendship with an ex-spouse?
Yeah, well, the last one I can't necessarily answer that one. I would say, and again, not trying to be cliches, but How to Win Friends and Influence People, it revolutionized the way I communicated with people and understood people. Then, of course, Chris Daniels' assessment, I always recommend that assessment. As a matter of fact, my wife told Carl that as a testimony when we were eating dinner the other day, Didi was like, I'm just so grateful for that assessment. I never heard my wife say anything like that before. She was like, yo, as a gorilla, my whole life, I've talked to people as if they were gorillas. I've dealt with people like they're gorillas. And she's like, I've noticed that it doesn't work. And so she was like, to be able to have, 4 different lenses, to be able to understand that some people are flamingos and you can't talk to them like that, or, turtles or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I honestly, I would recommend that, because I think a lot of times when we're dealing with people that we have issues with, we're using the wrong language, and then the first one is, I think it's always good to have a friend that you can talk to about your hurt and pain. I'm not saying it goes away, but it's a lot easier. Like I just had a conversation, with CJ and my son, that CJ initiated, and sometimes it's just difficult when you and that individual, are kind of communicating. But sometimes when you have somebody you can talk to and you can get it out, it makes it a lot easier. And then I would say stay busy. You know, the day of Christmas, like whatever you do, don't be at home thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like go to somebody else's house, you know, enjoy somebody else's family, you know, go to the movies, go watch the game. Like, I don't know. But I'm saying whatever you do, don't stay at home waddling in it, like thinking about it all day, you know, and just letting that negativity consume you. Because it could be like a cancer. And my wife always says this. I don't know that, you know, this the gorilla in her, you know, but my wife always says like, yo, don't get consumed with the holidays like that. It's another day. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you know, it's 24 hours and it's gonna pass. You know what I'm saying? So don't get so caught up in the holidays that it becomes negative for you, you know? So work, I don't know, but just stay busy on Christmas.
Somebody said, I love listening to your podcast, and I tell everyone I know to jump aboard this road to success with ET. You guys help me so much with the topics you choose, even the little things. I recently joined BU, but I've been following for a few years. My question is for a friend of mine. She's ready and eager to find a husband, but she's been getting no luck at all. Her past couple of experiences have been with ministers/preachers, and it's left a bad taste in her mouth. Now she believes the church is the worst place to find love. Wow. What do you guys think? Pastor Thomas.
Represent all the clergy.
Yeah. Shout out to all you pastors doing little mama dirty. May you have a rotten Christmas.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I will say this though, man. This is not to, you know, there's not no scapegoat, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I am saying, you know, because there is a responsibility when you're a pastor. Y'all know I'm heavy on that. Like I don't. Once you are a man of the cloth, like that to me, yeah, for real, that's a serious responsibility, bro. You shouldn't do that unless you call. But at the end of the day, church people are just as human as anybody else, and I don't know why people get that confused. Like these are humans, you know, and
but they should be better.
They should, but I'm still saying.
No, I'm just saying,
human,
like everybody always says that, are you human too? Yeah, you are human, but you should be better than the people who don't know Christ or whatever you claim to know. I'm not even tripping on religion. If you claim to have a set of instructions, I've never seen those. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
no
if you go to, it's like if you go to a basketball trainer 3 times a week and you working out for 4 hours a day, 3 times a week, it's like, I'm gonna need you to be sweeter than my man who ain't never been to the trainer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But what I'm saying to the person
not perfect.
who's dealing with them. Yeah, no, but I'm saying to the person that's dealing with them, make sure that your expectations are not too high, because now you are hurt. Like she hurt, see, like on a deeper level than if it would have been just a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, for real, don't go into it thinking because he's a pastor that these relationships that I'm in with these pastors are going to be any better than just normal.
Maybe we need to redefine, what's the criteria for becoming a pastor? Maybe that's what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no questions asked.
It might need to be a combine or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to need you to run a 4.3 so you can just call yourself a pastor.
I'm just saying, you know, I get on y'all all the time about that. And y'all think I'm trying to be funny, but I do, because it's like, yo, you represent me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny, but you a motivational speaker. You represent me. So you got homegirl talking about they out here grimy, or husbands is grimy. I never get married again. I'm trying to be a good husband. Like, how did I get in that category with my man? So I'm just saying to her.
Where were we at the other day? He was like, yo, I just hate the fact that everybody could just call themselves a motivational speaker. And he was like, you can't just call yourself a nurse and walk up in the hospital and start taking blood pressure.
I'm saying it's real. And so anybody could be a pastor. You just start a church. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? See, just on random. Like, I just feel like checking vitals today. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, so I would say to her, because we're dealing with her right now, your expectations, are misplaced. You have misplaced expectations. And I just don't want you to get bitter and feel as if you can never marry again, or you should never be in a relationship again. You know, people are human and people make mistakes. And you have to understand people make mistakes. And you have to understand that, because if you want to get back into a relationship, you're going to have to get back in the saddle again. And I tell y'all, I ain't necessarily on what other people do, but like C said, because I am a pastor, I hold myself to a very high standard, and I don't like making mistakes. You know, like misplacing something is one thing, but like people's emotions and whatever, people's hearts, like, yo, I'm not into that. It's collateral damage, you know, but at the same time, C used to tell me, because I think like this, that I would mess up. And I'm telling you, it'd be so hard to get back up. And C would be like, yo, E, the best way you know what I'm saying, for a pitcher who threw a home run, a grand slam, and they lost the game, is to get back on the mound. And so I'm just saying to her, like, as long as you're thinking, well, this church did me wrong, pastor did me wrong, this person did me wrong, like, yo, you're not going, what's the goal? The goal is getting a healthy relationship. And how you're acting and what you're thinking, that is actually going to it's like going to put you in an opposite position. You're not going to be able to be in a healthy relationship. So you just got to chalk it up and say, what did I do wrong in this relationship? You know, in the next one, how can I use the information that I have from this one to get better? Because at the end of the day, you want to walk down that aisle. At the end of the day, you want a husband. At the end of the day, you want a family. That's what you want. So you can't allow the fact that somebody hit a home run on you or you had a very negative experience to stop you from getting back on that mount. And I'm telling you from experience, C will tell you, like, if I got in one or two Achilles heels, like, that's one of mine. If I mess up royally, like, I'm gonna be sitting at the crib just thinking through, like, shoot, what did I do? What did I do? How can I? And it's like, yo, E, for real, you gotta take responsibility, but you can't beat yourself up. And to you, young lady, yes, you got in a terrible relationship, but you gotta get back up and shake it off. And I'm not saying that's gonna be easy, but you gotta shake it off and you gotta start with the next relationship. And you can't, in that relationship, see signs of what you saw in that last one and be like, here we go again. You gotta start from fresh and just say, like, yo, my goal is to be in a marriage, to be healthy, in a healthy family, and I'll date as many times as it takes, you know, to get to that point.
Hey, I just watched, quick sidebar, but what's his name? Kevin Durant against the Lakers the other night. A terrible shooting night, but hit the game-winning shot. I'm talking about terrible shooting night. Like, I'm talking about it was all over the place. Him and Clay couldn't hit nothing. It was looking ugly.
And KD got dunked on.
And he got posterized. I'm like, ugly, but he won the game. I think 116, 114.
Yeah,
and he hit the game-winning shot. So, yeah,
Love
keep
it,
shooting.
Carl.
Keep
Love
shooting.
Keep
Hey,
shooting.
a quick sidebar. While I got the mic, y'all fight with Kobe, with LeBron and MJ. Come on, get Kobe some love for me. Retiring 2 jerseys. Give him some love for me. Just give me a quick second for my Laker fanhood, what it used to be. I don't know if it's there yet. We're going to see where it goes. But shout out to my Kobe Bryant Lakers that did their thing.
Carl, I'm all about that life. You know what I'm saying? And I know I got to, debate with CJ. So I'll take one debate with him is enough. I definitely want to throw Kobe in there, but I don't even want to be fighting. I don't think we should be going straight to LeBron and MJ, but I'll keep fighting with him on that. But I believe that Kobe should have been in the middle of that fight, bro. But I just don't want to fight no more. So we're going to leave it alone and just go LeBron and but MJ. But yeah, Kobe should definitely be in that argument.
Shout out to Kobe getting 2 numbers retired.
2 numbers, bro.
And when I kept thinking, like, how did he get 2? And I started looking at his career, I was like, no, that's fair.
No, they said if you took each one individually, it's 3 rings with one of them, 2 with the other one, scoring titles on one of them. Like, my man did it in both of them. They're like, yeah, shut it down. So, yeah.
So can we put the homeless ET and the motivational speaker ET in the Hall of Fame? I'm trying, because he was doing ministry when he was homeless.
You know what I'm saying?
That's made him into who he was. I'm trying to get a 2-time MVP for E. Pre-DD and post-DD.
I love it.
All right, this last question is from CJ in Lansing, Michigan. You guys, what are you looking forward to with Christmas right around the corner? I know E, you said it's another day, but and I'll go first, just because I am grateful, and I want everybody out there to know that seriously, we are grateful that you guys rock with us, that you listen to the podcast, that you support what we do, and this is it means a lot to us. When we started this podcast a couple of years ago, we're coming up on another end of the year, and like 2 years straight now that we've been doing this podcast, and you guys have grown with us and watched us grow. So just want to say around this Christmas season, when everybody's giving thanks and appreciating people, man, that we want to definitely tell you guys that we appreciate you guys for downloading the episodes, for listening, for laughing with us, for just being a part of our family, man. It means a lot. And, keep rocking with us. We're going to keep trying to, bring you guys the best podcast we can bring you. And like I said, it really is, you guys are like a cult following with us. Everybody doesn't rock with it, but probably I say 15 to 20% of the ET fans rock with this podcast, man. And we're super grateful for that, man. You guys let us joke, let us be ourselves. And so I'm grateful for that. But for me, man, this, the holiday, and I guess the best part of Christmas for me is just Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? Like Christmas Eve is like one of those times where it's like, it's the anticipation of the next morning. And now for me having kids, I think it's even like rejuvenated me for Christmas morning with the gifts and, watching your kids be, super excited. But something about Christmas Eve, just hanging out, Christmas music blasting, everybody's in a great mood. We throw on our pajamas, everybody's just excited and pumped up. We usually just hang out, got some good food going, some good music. And just enjoying family, man. And so that's my favorite part of Christmas is I think Christmas Eve and, stuffing the stockings and, we do it big. My parents got the house decorated. It's a smell my mom puts in her little incense burner or whatever the thing is, like a holiday scent. And it's just a great time. So that's what I'm looking forward to this holiday season. Just wanted to know your favorite part of Christmas and the Christmas season.
Similar, obviously family, but like I was intentional this year. I told my family, we are not having down. Like it's not happening. Like intentional about having fun and enjoying each other's time. My wife said last night we'll play this game called, I don't know if we call it Dirty Santa.
Uh-oh.
You ever heard of it?
No.
It ain't that. It ain't that. Get your mind out the gutter.
Where is this going?
It ain't that. It's not that.
You done took grown. You might have something to replace grown man gifts. Dirty Santa. I didn't know. I'm gonna have to fly back to Atlanta to play Dirty Santa.
Hey, to all my parents out there, hide your kids.
Hide your kids.
CJ
I'm telling you,
Carl
started
CJ
that.
is at it again.
I started grown man gifts. Carl started the Dirty Santa.
No, it's a little.
I think I know the title to the podcast.
It's a little game that you play really where everybody buys a gift.
Oh, okay.
But you gotta pick it. It's not that. You gotta
God.
you pick a gift, but you don't necessarily get to keep the gift. You could somebody could take it from you that kind of, but I'm saying the whole atmosphere. I'm trying to get back serious.
Carl.
You're right in front of me, y'all. I'm trying to get back serious and I can't.
Praise God. Praise God for CJ.
Yeah, no, just being intentional. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna ignore.
Come on, Carl, pull it back, Carl. You can do it. You can do it, Carl. Come on. For the love of all our pastors out there, our clergy men and women, pull it back. They about to hang up the phone, Carl. All the kids hanging up the phone with their parents right now.
PG-17
give us 5 more minutes, y'all.
No,
give us 5 more minutes, y'all.
Yeah, no, just honestly, man, just making sure for real that. Literally, Ken on the toy just had a baby. Just being intentional, man. Life
playing Dirty Santa. That's how they got the baby.
Life is not, you know what I'm saying? You just got to take every moment. I was talking to Marshall real quick yesterday. Marshall's like, yo, his kid is 2 weeks old already. He was like, yo, we was just in the hospital. And it's just that reminder, yo, don't take nothing for granted, man. It's happening fast. So just being intentional. I told my niece, she the one in the house that will go to her room and stay. I'm like, none of that. We hanging out as a family. We doing everything together, music, like C said, food, whatever. So I'm just looking forward to being together, man, and just enjoying it. Having some more photos to put in the computer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just to enjoy this thing to the fullest, man.
Praise God. Let's keep adding to that computer.
Dirty Santa?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Naughty Claus. You ever played Naughty Claus?
I'm gonna look for Sia. Hey, I'm gonna start looking for Sia. I'm gonna look for Sia, a special sponsor. We got the wrong sponsors for Sia with the Organifi. I'm gonna have to find Sia sponsor. Yeah. Hey, Carl. Though I'm on the. And again, it's not negative. It's just a transition. But I don't have kids, man. To me, that's what makes Christmas so special, and then we had, of course, our children. Then we had Savannah for a while. And of course, Savannah has moved to Upper Michigan, so we don't get to see her as much, but, for me, man, that's what Christmas was about. And of course, our family, Dee, Jada, and myself, we're here, in Houston. But of course, Jalen is older now and dating, so a lot of times when you start dating, of course, you spend time with that individual, on the holidays or whatever. So It's not the same. Nobody's opening up gifts anymore. We're not traveling like that together. While it may seem, like insignificant, when it's such a small family, like we don't have a big family. So when you lose one person, that it changes the dynamics a little bit. So Didi and I were talking about we might have to, the traditions we had, come up with some more. But yeah, it's just different, man, when you don't have babies and you're not, you're trying to say Santa and trying to hide Santa and hide gifts and, watch them open the gifts the day of. That's a lot of excitement, watching your babies open their gifts or whatever. So we're on the other side of that. But what I am doing is my nieces and nephews, looking out for them in a way that I probably haven't traditionally, and just making sure that they have a good Christmas as well. So, but just the fact that C will be here this year. I was teasing Candace the other day. I sent the picture saying, hey man, I really enjoyed y'all, all of us together in Houston. We don't do that a lot. And I forgot what question Candace asked, like why we don't do it or something. And I sent a big logo of GE. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, you broke up the dream team. You know what I'm saying? You broke the dream team up, so it'll be cool though to have everybody together and be able to house hop, and just see everybody. So that's what I can look forward to this year. The whole gang, for the most part,
we're not coming here to
will
eat.
Be there.
We're not coming here to eat. If any eating going on, it's at CJ house.
Go
My parents holding a vegan down. You and your vegan snacks in here. Yeah, we're going to C house for all the food.
No question. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, we're gonna be eating good, and I'm gonna be trying to at least keep some of this weight down at the gym over the next 2 weeks. Shout out to Pops Valentine for giving me a guest pass at the Mac, so I'm gonna be getting my workout on.
Shout out to January 1st. Shout out to January 1st. It's January 2nd.
The most overhyped day in the history.
Yeah. Shout out to January 1st. You know what I'm saying? All of us will be working out again, all over America.
Yep.
We'll all come together for 5 days.
So cool. Anything else, Carl? Are we done? This is the last podcast before Christmas.
Yeah.
So any declarations?
Man, happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, be safe this holiday season, man.
Yeah, for sure, be safe. Anything you want to say to the people before you do the nugget of the day? Anything I forgot?
Yeah, forgive, man. Forgive. Forgive, man.
This is not the nugget of the day, though. Don't start the nugget of the day.
Yeah.
Is that the nugget of the day?
No, that's not the nugget of the day.
Okay.
I was watching a post with Warren Buffett, and for real, when you meet people and you see their stuff, it just gives you a different, different kind of feel. And so I saw somebody post something. I was like, all right, let me see whatever. And it was crazy, Carl. His first financial advice was unconditional love. And I'm thinking, wow, this is crazy coming from Warren Buffett. Yeah, but that was his thing. And so for real, I would say to you guys, as difficult as it is, please forgive. Don't go into 2018 with some of that garbage, from 2017. And I know we talk cliches, but for real, it is a new beginning. No matter how you look at it, it really is a new beginning. And so you're getting a gift to start all over that you don't get in June, Carl. You know what I'm saying? Like June, you can make a change, but it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's built in the culture. It's a part of the natural progression that we're going into a new year. It's a new start. So for real, for those of you out there who've had a difficult time doing it up to this point, identify 1 or 2 people and for real, give them a gift of forgiveness. It's a gift. It's like, and I mean that. Don't make them work for it. You know what I'm saying? Just forgive them. No
doubt. And if you want to start off that new year right, in all seriousness, come join us at Breathe University. You guys know how we're doing it. Just an awesome time to be in BU, rocking with BU, man. We got so many people, man, that are rocking with us, man. We've built that community up. Like I said, I always tell people that's probably, in terms of what we've accomplished, BU, I think, is our biggest accomplishment just because it's not about us. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally a living, breathing community that people are growing every day, man. So if you sick and tired of being sick and tired of not making that change and not having that accountability, man, we would love for you to come join us at breatheuniversity.com. That's it for me, man. I'm about to go get some work done. We got a few more days before I take off. E, hit us with that nugget of the day, man, and we'll see you on Friday, right? Tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think so. Yep. Well, you probably see me Saturday because I get there late.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to come by the house and drink eggnog. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Saturday morning. Yeah, because I think we don't land until about 8:39 in the D. So absolutely. But yeah, guys, here's that nugget of the day. You know, I know it is the end of the year, and some of you guys, for real, you like, this has been one of the worst years of my life. The lady earlier talked about, you know, the divorce, and this will be the first time without her family being together. Some of you have lost a lot. You've lost jobs, you've lost loved ones, you've lost relationships. Like, for real, this has been a very dark, you know, year for you. And for some of you, you didn't pass, you know, your bar exam or other, you know, state exams or other important exams. And so that job you were banking on, or that career, or that moving, like, you've lost, you know. And understand something. We at BU, we at ETA, like, for real, we get it, you know. Like, we don't live in this bubble where all we experience is success. Like, for real, we live in the real world too. And so we've gone to funerals. We've had our very first BU student to pass. Year, Brian Washington passed. That was tough. We went to the funeral, you know what I'm saying? So we're not that type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not that type of community where it was like, oh, whatever. Like, we legitimately went. We did a T-shirt, we did a fundraiser. We've lost. I've lost friends, you know, this year. We've lost family this year, you know, and we've taken some hits. You know, everything for us hadn't been, you know, peachy cream. So for those of you who've lost this year, this is for you. If you can remain hopeful during your darkest hour, listen to me. If you can remain hopeful during your darkest hour, keep striving, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, there is nothing you can't achieve, all right? So don't think we haven't been through our go-through. The difference between E.T., C.J. Carl, and the rest of the ETA family is that we have felt lost like you felt it. Remember, I didn't grow up with my biological father. Remember, we didn't start talking till we was 30. It was bitter. Remember, I left home at 16 and had an strained relationship with my mom. Like, yo, for real. Like, remember I told you, like, me and my younger sister, like, we haven't had, like, yo, you looking at ET and the traveling and the whatever, bro, life ain't been easy for me. You know what I'm saying? And I still have wounds. I still have scars. But the difference between me and a lot of people is that my darkest moments have not defined me. They did not defeat me. They made me better. So I'm just asking you in your darkest moment not to give up, not to give in, but to know that there are lessons to be learned, there are principles to be learned, and more importantly, the stars shine brightest in the darkest moments. So do not give up, do not give in. As a friend of ours used to say, or a DJ in Detroit, Mojo, he used to say, if you're tired and it seems like you're slipping off that rope, tie another knot. But whatever you do, don't give up and don't give in. Hey, it's your boy E.T. We love y'all. Merry Christmas.
Hey, appreciate that nugget of the day. Love y'all. Thanks for listening. Go leave us that review on iTunes. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week.
And a happy new year.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity